screen. Okay. Morning, everyone. I think we have a few students at the moment, but we will, Suzanne and I think also Karuna, who are in the WhatsApp group, will continue just encourage students to join in. I mean, prospective students to join in, because this is very well their session to basically gain as much information as they can. Yeah, so welcome to the long-awaited workshop that we have been very much excited to plan around, because we know how important it is to have as much information as one can when it comes to the degree that they are intending to apply in, or even get to understand what degree to apply in the event whereby a learner is still confused around which career path to take, right? So as a result, the name of the workshop is titled University Unlock, Your Career, Your Canvas. Okay. So I will just go through the program of what to expect in the session. There will be your usual, detailing out what the program is about in the event, or in case there is still some confusion around what the program entails. So there will be that, and then there'll be an icebreaker, and then around 9:20 or so, we will then have Evisa, who will engage around what is the difference between job and career, or what are the similarities, or how does it align? And then we'll also have feedback from myself, or rather unpacking what the importance of career assessment, and how does it help one to be able to link which career path they could take, because it's not all the time that one would want to pursue a certain career that it means that they could very well be able to withstand the pressures of that particular career. So sometimes it's good, not even sometimes, all the time, it's good to understand yourself from a personal perspective, your personality, your skills, your interests, your values, and even goes to an extent of understanding your environment, and politically and socially, how everything is forever changing in the world that we live in. There's an increase in technology being an everyday part of our lives. So that will be briefly unpacked under the career slot, or rather the assessment slot. And then we'll have Nombuso, who will discuss recruitment, anything recruitment related. And also she'll unpack if there is more detail that she would like to impart. Apologies on the lighting. There's a sensor in my office, so I may go, the lighting may go off as it already has, but I'm sure you can still see me very clearly. And then we'll also look at graduate attributes that will be presented by Wendy. And we also have external speakers who have been willingly excited to actually share information on the different degree specific information that students would want to have. We have Arishka Kalicharan, who I believe was a UKZN student, or currently still is, and she also has enough information on the degrees such as medical science. And I know that in engaging with her, She also did indicate that she does have knowledge in nursing field as well as medicine. So looking forward to having that information shared. And then we have internal speaker, Nosipho Mkhize, Miss Nosipho Mkhize. She will be joining us just a few minutes from now. She's from the funding department. She'll be sharing everything around funding criteria, the different options of funding, and even share a few web links on that could get learners started with venturing into the applications of funding. And then also we'll have other speakers who will be engaging on the different, because when you speak on the degrees in the College of Health Science, I think that is also something very important to indicate, because we are discussing everything related to the College of Health Science. Should you with the assessments that have been sent via WhatsApp, should you have picked up that your career alignment actually is not quite related to any degree in the College of Health Science, please feel free to engage with us on that so that we can be able to refer you to appropriate officers that can be able to assist you further, because career is broad and there's different aspects to it. Then we also have Mandisa Damini, ADO from the nursing discipline or school. She'll be sharing information on the nursing degree. Okay. And I think I've mentioned everyone that is in the program. So we are beginning now at 9, and then we will be ending off at a little just before 1 o'clock. During each time of this speakers slots, you are more than welcome to ask any questions that you may have. Okay, so that is it around the program. Let me just check how many students we have now. Unfortunately, I do apologize. I can't. I'm not able to operate. Having to take note of how many students we have currently so far. Whilst I'm also operating the PowerPoint slides. But for those students who are in the session for now, whilst we are waiting for more students to join in, I'd like to, and I say also, I think we don't only have prospective students, we also have university students who are already in it, which is actually good, because we do know how with career, it's forever changing. It also depends on, when we speak on identity, we speak on a concept that is influenced by a variety of factors, such as your environment, your values, and your exposure and experience. So all of those things, they are constantly evolving, which causes one to constantly evolve in their interests, right? So I'm happy actually that we even have university already registered students who are looking into understanding the concept of career. Currently, if you guys could just give your either your current degree, or rather a degree that you'd want to venture into, a shout, right? On the chat box. Write it on the chat box. Which degree are you in? Which degree are you looking into venturing in? I'm interested in knowing, who are you? Do you want to be in medicine? Are you in medical science, or is that what you'd want to venture into? If you notice in the College of Health Science, we have the different degrees that are science related, such as medicine, medical science, nursing, dentistry, audiology, pharmacy, speech therapy, um, occupational therapy. We have optometry. So there's quite a lot of rich, I think, areas of to explore. Okay, so we have one saying, Siyabonga Mzono saying, I'm in sports science now, and I want to go to medical science physiology. Wow, nice, nice, Siyabonga. Please stay throughout, because we will be having a speaker who is well versed in the medical science field. So I'm sure you'll definitely enjoy that part of the session. And then Ripfumelo saying, I'm in medical science, physiology. I want to venture into medicine or pharmacy. Nice, nice, Ripfumelo. Also, please do stay throughout. I'm sure, and she is here, the speaker from medical science, so I'm sure already you can see how eager the students would be to actually hear from your side. Let's see, we have, who else do we have? Tariq Mohammed, and Tinel Naika, Zinke Ntimunye, sorry. Okay, nice. So tell me, at which point did you decide that this degree that you want is a degree that you think you are suited for? Did you think of it in high school? Because I'm thinking the students who responded so far are those who are currently registered. Did you think about this in high school? Did you think about this immediately when you started in the degree that you're doing now, and then you realize, wait a minute, actually there's more? When did you get information around this degree of interest that you have now?
Okay, I am Siyabonga Mzolo. I was interested in this degree in 2022 when I was doing grade 10. The reason why I chose medical science and physiology is that I wanted to be a lecturer, because I believe that as long as I understand something, I can explain it better to someone else. Then I chose to teach at the university level, and when they applied for university, firstly, I didn't got rest for medical science physiology, and I lacked knowledge that if I came to university, there maybe I would have got rest. So I qualified, but I didn't have knowledge. Hence, I love physiology. I'm interested in teaching medicine in the future as a professor. Thank you.
Wow. Nice, wonderful. If I could see my emojis right now, or the icons, I would have a clapping hand. Thank you. I see. So it's like you growing into actually the degree that you would want to pursue. You're noticing, oh, you're good at also. I think you said something about lecturing, and and aligning it to what you initially applied for, and just seeing yourself pursuing the medicine field uh, further. So which is really good. Well done, Siyabonga. And Fumela, would you like to respond as well?
Hi, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. With me, it's something that's been embedded in me since my childhood. I think it started late onset in seventh grade when we had to go research what careers we want to get into for career day. And before that, I was always, I want to be a scientist. I want to write a journal one day. I want to publish a textbook. But during my research in the seventh grade, and then I discovered medicine as a career. And then there was also, I had some background information in a sense that there was a traditional background to it. So that's when I started falling in love with medicine, and that's always been my lifelong dream career. And being in medical sciences, physiology, and learning more of how the human body works and how all of the body systems integrate, I want to be able to. It has sparked a much deeper interest for medicine for me that yes, I do like learning about it, but I also want to be physically helping and assisting patients. I don't want to just be in academia, but I want to be in a career that helps me deal with people physically.
Wonderful. Wow, thank you, Precious. Um, yeah, lifelong career, something you loved long time ago, and when you did not enter into it for the first time, you didn't see it as an obstacle, but rather you saw the first degree as a stepping stone towards what you've always wanted to do. So different backgrounds, maybe different starting points, but the aim is to always remember where you're going, always remember the larger goal, and take any obstacles or any life-changing directions to be just a stepping stone towards where you are wanting to end off. So thank you very much for offering us that feedback around and giving us some insight around your own personal journey towards where you are intending to go. Okay, so I will allow my colleague, Cebisa, to just unpack on the alignments and the differences between career and job. Please take note that this session is an overview where we are having given an opportunity to engage around the often maybe unspoken or known, but rather not usually engaged upon discussions around career. But there is an opportunity for you to have an in-depth career counseling or assessment, individual based, where that you can book for at Student Support Service. So please do utilize that opportunity. So without wasting further time, I will allow my colleague Cebisa. Cebisa, are you able to share your slide?
Um, Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Nandi, for this session. It's very cold in Stanger, but I'm really looking forward to engaging with our students on this very informative session that you have organized. So while I'm presenting, I will switch off my video, and then once I'm done, then I can um, switch back my video on. Okay, let me screen share. Hmm. Can you see it, Nandi?
Let me just check.
Nandi?
Yes, Cebisa, I think I'm able to, yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So good morning, everyone. My name is Tlebi Sankatu. I'm a student counselor slash educational psychologist that is based in Stanger. My section in this lovely program that we have today is very brief, but is to basically provide an overview of the difference between a job and a career and to somehow show how they may align with each other. I'm hoping that by the end of my session or by the end of today, students will have been able to understand the difference between a career and a job. They would have had some ex ideas on the examples of a career versus a job, and they will then be able to reflect on what they want. Do they want jobs or do they prefer a career? When we're thinking about a career, it is a lifelong journey that involves a constellation of numerous events which could influence one to defining who they are and what they stand for. For example, a career can be an expression of a purpose, a calling, or a lifelong assignment that you truly believe you have been called to fulfill. It therefore means that a career can then be determined by your interests. What are you interested in? What are your desires? Your characteristics, as well as your skills. And in this regard, your academic performance is also key in determining the kind of career that you want. Because obviously, certain careers require certain academic capabilities. So that also needs to play into effect that, for example, you may want a certain career, but you may find that your capabilities and your skills do not meet the minimum requirements, of that specific career. Then you would then need to think about an alternative. Okay. We find that there are a number of career development theories, and they propose different ways in which one's career is developed. I'm going to go through just a few that I want to highlight this morning. The first one is Donald Super. According to this theories, he highlighted the importance of development that lies in the self-concept. Donald proposed that self-concept, changes over time and develops through experiences. So, for example, our self-concept, as you go through life and you go through different experiences, your self-concepts then changes with regard to the experience that you have gone through. In this regard, Donald Super proposes that a career is lifelong and is influenced by the experiences that you go through as an individual. Mark Savickas, on the other hand, looks at individual careers from an overall perspective to answer three core questions. The first question is, what kind of career will be established? How do you construct a career? And why do you build a career? On the other hand, John Holland based his theory of career development on the idea that in choosing a career, people prefer jobs where they can be around others who may have similar characteristics. He believes that individuals search for environments that would let them use their skills and abilities and express their attitudes and values while taking on enjoyable problems and roles. So Holland proposes then a new idea of the environment in which one would like to work in, as well as the individuals who may have similar characteristics and wanted to be around such that. When we think about a job and a career, as a way of navigating your way around your career, it is important to consider various factors that will assist you through your journey. These factors may include your identity development. Of course, the identity development develops throughout your life, your emotional adaptability, as well as your skills. And in this regard, it is important to differentiate between careers because it may help you create goals you can work towards in your life. So the alignment between a job and a career then lies, I believe, I think my colleagues can maybe share their perspectives, that knowing that jobs are positions you can work to get closer to your job. So the jobs that you work will allow you to get closer to your career. As we say that a career is lifelong. This gives one the ability to find roles that fit into their goals, aligns with their skills, personality, interests, and purpose. So by this definition, that it means that the jobs that you do choose to take or to pursue, they allow you to fit, they allow you to fit them into the goals that you have, to align them with your skills, your personality, interest, and purpose. When we think about a job and a career, sometimes it can be used interchangeably. However, by definition, a job and a career differ by their ideas. When we think about a job is salary based. That means that a salary is the initial rate of compensation that you receive as an employee in exchange for services. The best pay is expressed on an hourly rate, a monthly rate, or an annual rate. On the other hand, when we look at a career is long term. It is chosen based on your passions and your goals and your interests. For example, pursuing a personal interest in your work or earning a certain role in an institution or workplace. Most careers require some form of university education, although some may include attending a vocational or a tertiary institution. So I think this table will explain it more differently when we look at job and careers in terms of the different aspects. So in terms of definition, sorry, I just need to move this. In terms of a definition, a job is a specific position with task for pay. A career, on the other hand, it is a long-term journey through related jobs. I think that part related jobs is quite important. In terms of time frame, a job can be short-term or temporary, while a career can be is seen as long-term and evolving. In terms of goals, a job could be that the goal for a job is to earning an income. So you just want to earn an income. Whereas a career, the goal is for personal and professional development and growth, as well as the achievements within that specific field. When we look at the aspect of commitment, a job may require limited training or experience, whereas a career often involves continuous learning and planning. An example of a job could be a barista, a cashier at a grocery store, a delivery driver. So these types that a person is employed in this specific job to earn an income. An example of a career is that a healthcare professional or an engineer or a teacher. For example, I don't think my slides are moving. Okay, for example, if you want to be in a healthcare professional field in South Africa, obviously you have to be registered with the Health HPCSA, Health Professionals Council of South Africa, or the South African Nursing Council. So in order for you to be registered with these organizations, you have to meet certain requirements. So over a period of time, so that is more in terms of the long-term aspect of a career. I'm not sure if Nandi, you can hear me.
Yes, I can
Yes,
hear you.
Oh, okay. I think my slides are actually it's frozen, so I can't go any further. But I think that's about it. That's what I wanted to highlight, that a career in essence is a lifelong journey that involves choosing related jobs that fit into your long-term goals that are aligned with your interests, your passions, as well as your skills. I think that part is also important because you may have an interest in a certain field, but you may find that you don't have the necessary skills that fit into that field. And I think that is where I'm gonna end today. I'm sorry, my slide just stopped moving. I'm not sure what's going on.
Thank you very much, Tabisa. That is absolutely correct. A career is a lifelong journey, and there's so many factors to consider, your values, a lot of personality, interests, and so forth. I think one thing that I'm also learning as I'm progressing in my career is also the importance of looking at what other, how else can you pursue um, other roles in your career? Because I think there's different things that one can do with one form of a career. Like, for instance, medicine, one can pursue it academically, whilst also pursuing it in practice, whether it's private practice, or having to be employed in an institution. There's a variety of ways of expanding yourself, personally and professionally. So yeah, that's career. Thinking of it, think of how can you
Definitely.
expand yourself.
Definitely. I think to touch on what you just said, I think when you think about it, even from my personal experience, that when I started off, the idea that I had of what I wanted to do is quite different because as you get familiar within the field, you realize, okay, maybe this is what I'm more interested in. I would like to pursue this. Oh, this is what I'd like to actually add on to. So the kind of opportunities that you pursue then are then reflected by what your interest is, even within that field. So how you start off, where you start off in what you want to do, for example, with being the psychologist, as you progress within your registration or your practice as a psychologist, it changes, and the interest that you have and what you want to expand your knowledge on changes because of your life experiences and your interests. So, I think in essence, a career is very dynamic because it
Mm,
really does change, and it is influenced a lot by your experience and your interests.
that's true. And I think it also sort of pushes one to um, search deep into how they can increase or work around their self-esteem, self-confidence, because the more bravery and exposure that you gain in any form of way, whether it's you starting off in different leadership positions, even as a student, that helps build up your sense of character. And as you are engaging um, in these leadership contexts, you also get to network with people that you could end up being colleagues in future. So, networking, having to know your networking etiquette, it really helps and it goes a long way.
Definitely, I think as you were talking, I'm thinking of in my mind, I was like, it's perhaps another thing is just to be curious,
Mm,
whichever field, that I think also some level of curiosity also helps in you navigating throughout your career as it is lifelong. So having that sense of curiousness to say, oh, actually, I wonder what this
mm,
is about. Let me look at this as well, as you are, because a lifelong journey is quite long, and we always want to pursue things that um, important to us, they are meaningful to us, and they bring us a sense of purpose and doing something that really is fulfilling for us.
yeah. No, thank you very much, Teresa. I think now we will move on to the next set of the program. Not sure if you're able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So you would have received links and also a PDF document that looks like this. You would have received a PDF document or a link that basically leads you to an assessment, just to get a brief overview. It's not an in-depth one, but just for you to get a brief overview of your personality, your interests, and your possible skills. And I think with the PDF, what is also quite important to take note of is, it also highlights the importance of one having to take note of their APS score, or rather their results that they would be forming or would have formed in high school, right? Which is the APS score, so that you can be enlightened around, and have just a realistic view of which criteria do you fit under, right? When you are venturing into the degree that you are. And we know how sometimes in university, even though they would suggest, maybe for instance, that entry point is 36, but you'll find that they'll only take up to students who have maybe like 37, 38 points. So having to aim at getting specifically a certain amount of points may not always work for you as an individual. So it's good to just know how hard it is, how important it is to work hard whilst you still have the opportunity, whether you have decided or not on which career to take in university. But just make sure that you really work hard in your current subjects. If you are a high schooler, if the high schoolers have joined us, I hope they have. Make sure that you really work hard and take all necessary steps. If it's tutorings that you need to do, if it's you taking extra time even during weekends. I know they are so often matriculants will study even during Saturdays. Do that. Manage your time well, balance out your life well, make sure that you are always attending classes, and communicate with your teachers, and find mentors as well. Explore, job shadowing, perhaps. But anything that will actually lead towards making sure that you work well and you get good, your results reflect well. Because I think with results that are reflecting well, matriculate results, it means that even if in future you'd want to change to another degree, you're still able to change to that particular degree, because your APS score would also be reflecting that you did well, because that's when you apply, you also include your metric results. So yeah, just I think that's one thing that this assessment was including, and also getting to when it comes to the interests, which subjects were you interested in, or that you enjoyed doing in school. Although subjects in university will be different, and also it's not in each degree that you would find yourself applying in. It doesn't mean that all the subjects that you are in that specific degree you will enjoy them all just because you enjoyed one particular subject in high school, but rather just knowing Which one did you enjoy? Which one are you able to navigate better? It helps because you'll find that in that degree that you'll be choosing in university, it means that at least you'll be comfortable with at least 50% or 60% of that particular program. And then with the rest, you'll then be learning how to also get to understand it better, right? And then what else? Even taking note of things such as what do you enjoy doing during your spare time? I know so often we don't see how that could actually impact our careers, but it actually does. It contributes as part of how we get to develop. What do you enjoy doing? Do you enjoy, for instance, in my field of psychology, although yes, I had I knew that I enjoyed theory modules that are related to theory. I knew that I enjoyed having to unpack or help people unpack their traumas, but also another flavor to helping me understand that no, psychology really is a degree that I perhaps can consider, was also realizing that I enjoy speaking to people. I enjoy getting to know people. So things like minor things could actually help you complete or connect the dots. And then in personality, I think not just in what you personally find interesting, but even the environment that you find you thrive in. Some people thrive better at the labs. Some people thrive better around people in teamwork. Some people thrive better with equipments, and don't really are not and not that wouldn't be because they are not able to socialize, but rather they just prefer working with objects and equipments. And then we also have in the REASAC assessment, that speaks. I think Tabisa also alluded to it when she spoke of Holland, right? When she was speaking about the different theories that try to conceptualize how a career is made up. There is an assessment from John Holland that basically categorizes people's personality, interests, and values, right? It's six different categories, which is realistic, social, investigative, enterprising, artistic, or conventional, right? So in the assessment, once you've completed it, you basically, what happens is you then take note of the scores that are higher, 3 scores that are higher, which will give you a code around then which of the careers would you best be aligned with. For instance, if you're more realistic, it means that you'd be aligning around careers such as agriculture, health assistant, computers, engineering, and so forth. And then maybe if it's investigative, it means that you'd be aligning more towards degrees such as marine biology, engineering, chemistry, psychology, medicine, and so forth. So I won't go, or I won't basically detail them all out because at 6 it's quite a lot, and I'm also considering the time. But I'm happy to share again this type of assessment if perhaps you were not able to access it. But I find that it's always quite interesting to it does sort of give a basic foundation around which category is best suited for you as an individual. So yeah, I think that's basically what I wanted to share from my side. Are there any questions so far? Are there any questions, any requests maybe for some clarity as we are going to be moving on to the next segment of the session? Okay. All right. So now we have Unombuso who will be just sharing the brief information around recruitment, as I'd mentioned earlier. Nombuso, are you still in the session?
Yes, I'm here.
Wonderful. You are more than welcome to discuss your part of information.
Oh, okay, I will do that. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nombuso Dlamini. I have a problem with my video, so apologies for that. We will discuss our entry requirements and our recruitment process as the College of Health Sciences, though. Okay, as you all know, UKZN has 5 campuses: the Pietermaritzburg campus, Westville, Edgewood Medical School, and Howard College. But our college is based on 3 campuses mainly. It's based on 3 campuses mainly. Pietermaritzburg, we got our doctors, Westville, our health sciences programs, and then we have medical school where we have our doctors, and Howard College where we have mostly nursing and some parts of public health medicine. Acceptance as UKZN is very competitive because we receive an average of 85,744 for only 1,200 spaces for first years. And then these programs are accredited by a number of professional bodies, so which makes them highly sought after. So our selection is strict and only the academically bright stars are selected. So I will discuss a little bit about our selection process. So what happens is we take app scores for some, for most, and then for one program we take an average. And I'm sure you guys, since you are in matric, you know how to calculate an average and also the app scores. But yeah, I'll just indulge you anyways. So at UKZN, we recognize academic excellence by awarding 8 points to subjects with a performance level of 90 to 100%. So if you have 90 to 100, you get 8. But for the rest, we get 7. So if you got 80% to 100, you get 7 points. And then if you 70 to 79, that's 6. 60 to 69, it's 5. 50 to 59, it's 4. And then 40 to 49 is 3. I'm not even going to bother with 30 to 29 because I mean, that's 3 to 0. And as I've mentioned that we are very highly competitive, so I doubt we'll be looking at anything below 50. And then how you calculate your app scores, what you do is you combine your 6 subjects, but they always have to include LO. So you take 7 subjects of on your statements, or because some people do 8 subjects, but we only need 6 plus LO. So what you do, maybe you can take home language, say you got a 5, then first additional language, say you got a 6, life orientation, you have a 4, but it comes as a 0, not as a point. So for your home language, if you have a 5, And then for first additional language, a 6. Then maybe your mathematics is 5, accounting 6, business studies 6, and then computer application technology, you also get a 7. That's 35 points because the life orientation performance rating is not calculated. So then you have an app score of 35%, 35 points, which gets you into the university. But yeah, the thing is with UKZN College of Health Sciences, as much as we say 35, we don't start from the bottom to the top. We start from the top to the bottom. So you'll find that some people have even 50 points because some kids get straight 90s, which is like straight 8. So we start from the top, from 48 points going down. And in the College of Health Sciences, we have a number of programs. So I'll mention them one by one, starting with audiology. We have audiology, which is the 4-year degree. And then the apps range, we take from 48 points to 30 points. So if I say from 48 points to 30 points, it means as much as we can take 30 points, we can never get to it because, like I said, it's highly competitive, which means we'll start from 48. At some point, we stop at 40 because we only have 90 or 80 spaces. In some programs, we have 60 spaces. So if you want to do audiology, you need to have English and LO at level 4 and maths and life sciences or physical sciences at level 3. But again, don't be confused by the level 3 and the level 4. We never take those ones. So if you're really interested, you have to have at least level 6 or 7 to be safe. We also have speech language therapy, which also requires English and LO at level 4, maths at level 3, and life sciences or physics at level 3. It's also a 4-year degree, and we also take from 48 points to 30 points. We have dental therapy, a 3-year degree. We need English and LO at level 4, life sciences and maths at level 3. But if you are applying for the first 3 options that I've given you, you have to make them your choice 1 to choice 3 only. If you make them choice 4, you're not going to get in, even if you have straight A's, because we'll assume if you made it number 4, you were not really interested. And then we also have we've introduced a new program in our college, which is a Bachelor of Social Science in Dietetics and Human Nutrition. Okay, and then this also requires you to have English and LO, maths at level 4, and agriculture, science, or life sciences or physical sciences at level 4. We also take from 48 points to 28 points, and it's a 4-year degree also. Also, it's not specific if you can make it your number 1 or whatever on your LO form. So you can even make it number 4 or 5. It's up to you. And then you have Bachelor of Medical Sciences. Bachelor of Medical Sciences also needs to be prioritized at 1, 2, or 3. And you all need English, LO, Life Sciences, and Mathematics, and Physical Sciences at level 4. It's a 3-year degree, and our app score ranges from 48 points to 30 points. Medical bioscience is also the same as I've just mentioned, the medical science. We also 3-year degree, 48 to 30 points, and you need English, LO, mathematics, and life sciences and physical sciences at level 4. Also need to prioritize it by making it number 1, 2, and 3. And then we have medicine, medicine and surgery, which requires an aggregate of 65%. But then again, if you say 65%, you shouldn't work for 65%. Like I said, it's very competitive. So at least have an aggregate of 90%, if not 100%, to make sure you get in. It's a 6-year degree. You need a bachelor in math. You need maths, physical science, life sciences, and English at level 5, LO at level 4, and an aggregate of 65%. But then don't listen to my 65%. What you need to focus on is getting at least 90%, then you are safe. And then we have nursing. Nursing also is very highly competitive. And also you need to make it choice 1 if you really sure you need nursing. Because if you make it number 2, we don't give it to you even if you get straight A's also. And then in nursing, we need at least, we start a range from 48 points to 30 points, and it's a 4-year degree. And can I just repeat this one? Make it choice 1 if you want nursing. Then you can put the rest after. Then we have occupational therapy, which is a 4-year degree also. We need an app score of 48 points to 30 points to get in. You need English, LO, math at level 4, mathematics, and life sciences or physics at level 3. And then we have optometry. You need English, LO, mathematics at level 4, and life sciences or physics at level 4. You also need to make it your choice 1 to choice 3 to get in. And you need, we start from 48 points to 33 points. But again, you should never work for 33 points. You should work for more to definitely get into the program. We also have oral hygiene. In oral hygiene, we start from 48 points to 30 points. It's a 3-year degree. You need English, LO, and life sciences and mathematics at level 3. Also, you need to make it between 1 to 3 to make sure you get in. If you put it at number 4, we'll assume you were not serious and give it to another person, even if you beat them by your apps range. Then we also have the pharmacy, which is really popular also. Also, we need an app score of 48 to 33 points. It's a 4-year degree. You need to have English, life sciences, and LO, and maths and physical sciences all at level 4. If you're really serious about pharmacy also, you need to put it in the range of 1 to 3 on your CAO form to make sure you prove that you are serious about it. We have physiotherapy, which also you need English, LO, and maths, and life sciences and physical sciences at level 4. Our apps range is from 48 to 30 points. But again, as you already know, we start from 48 points going down. And it's a 3-year degree. Oh, sorry, it's a 4-year degree for physiotherapy. Sports science, it's a 3-year degree. And you need English, LO, and maths or maths lit at level 3. And then our apps range starts from 48 to 30 points. And then with physiotherapy, same as the others that I've mentioned earlier, you need to put on your CAO form 1 to 3. If it's 4 to 6, we don't think you are serious. Thank you very much. I hope I was clear. You can take over, Nand.
Thank you very much, Nomo. So I think what I've taken note of from what you just mentioned is what I also alluded to, having to aim higher with your APS score, right? Not don't just go for whatever specific required mark or APS score that is needed, but also just go above because the competition is high. So yeah, take note of that. Also, another point is, when you are applying, make sure that the degrees you're applying for are well thought out. Communicate with people who are even in those degrees. Do as much research as you can so that with your priority in how you apply, you make sure that you apply, you prioritize the degrees that you specifically want, and be mindful of the order. As Nombuso was mentioning, that it's either priority 1 or priority 3 that they would highly consider. But anything over that, then there are high chances that you will not be considered for that degree. So please do think it through. Think through your responses as you are applying for in your CAO form, right? Don't make it just a one-day thing or a few hours thing, but take time. Take time to complete your CAO form. Discuss with people. Okay, what else did I take note of? Yeah, I think for now that's about it, but thank you very much, Nombuso. I see we have a comment on the comment section. Anonymous question. If I don't have math, only mathletes, can I upgrade?
No, we don't take upgrades. And also with medicine, we don't take people who have also upgraded their results. I saw a question on NBTs. We don't do NBT tests.
There are no NBT tests in all the degrees, or there are certain degrees,
Yes,
or just in
no,
in
all of them we don't have.
Thank you.
And the beauty of applying with College of Health Sciences, you don't even need a CV. You complete your degree, we place you, because you start being placed while you're studying.
Okay.
So it's the best college.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, I think you've responded to the mathletes question.
And we don't have bridging courses also.
Pardon?
We don't have bridging courses. Someone asked if we have any bridging courses.
Oh yes, that was going, yeah, the bridging courses. Okay, there are no bridging courses. And then another question, any other, I think it was Suzanne was right. But please do get your questions ready in the chat box. Either you message directly to a specific person, whether I see for now if the messages are going to Miss Suzanne Stokes, that is perfectly fine. But you can also send the messages to everyone to see in the group, or you can directly message the speaker themselves. But I think just to ensure that your message is read through, I think Mrs. Stokes will be available to read through your private messages. I see there's more messages that are coming through to everyone this time. Pokazi would like to know, if you complete a third-year degree, does it give you a higher chance to get into medicine, granted that you perform really well? Nombuso, that's your question again. If you complete a 3-year degree, does it mean that you stand high chances of getting into medicine, provided that you've performed exceptionally well?
I think that would depend on what degree you completed, if it's in line with medicine, or if you had qualified to get into medicine before. And then you need to apply like everyone else. But you need to have completed the actual degree. So it does not guarantee that you'll get in. You still need to apply.
Okay.
And then go through the selection process. Do you understand?
Let's see, Sipokazi, are you able to understand Ms. Nombuso's response? You're welcome to write on the chat box, or you can unmute yourself. Actually, okay, no, that's fine. She's saying she does understand your response. Should you need more? Should you need more for Ms. Nombuso to unpack further? You also welcome to email her directly. Okay.
It's Lamini N10 at ukzn.ac.za.
Thank you. Then we have Utinel Naika, who's asking, what are the requirements to study paramedics?
We don't have paramedics, it's only a DUT.
Utinel, would you like to respond to that response or that feedback? Okay, and then another question that we have from Pumelo. For someone in their final year of medical science, do I apply for an internal transfer or as a new application via CAO?
It's an internal application. It's not via CAO.
Okay,
It's only for undergrad, that's CAO.
thank you. Precious, I hope you also find there. Spokazi, when do internal applications open?
The applications are now open. Oh, sorry, they close on the, for medicine, we close on the 30th of June. And then for the rest of the programs, they close on the 30th of September.
So just to quickly confirm, you said nursing on the 30th of June.
No, medicine.
Medicine, yeah. And then our other degrees on which day in September?
30 September.
30.
So it's only medicine, that's 30th of June. And then all the other degrees, it's 30 September. So for those who want to apply for medicine, they have to apply now.
So for all degrees, is it currently open and only closes in 30th September, or it's opening 30th September? Sorry, I didn't get.
All of them are open now for application.
Okay.
But medicine is going to close on the 30th of June. And then all the other programs will close on the 30th of September. They're open.
Wonderful.
Applications are open.
Thank you for that clarity, Nombuso. Okay. I hope everyone who's been asking a question so far is well sorted. They understand what direction to take moving forward regarding their questions. Let's see, who do we have next up in line? Thank you very much, Nombuso, for your information. Thank you. So moving forward. Thank you, pleasure. So moving forward, we have our colleague, who's a student counselor, Ms. Wendy Macholo, and she will be giving us some contribution or information on graduates' attributes. Okay, so Wendy, you're welcome to share your slides.
Okay, okay. Good day, everyone. Yeah, I'll try and do that, Nandi, just now. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm succeeding. Host disabled participant screen sharing.
I do apologize. I've just tried to enable that you also co-host right now.
Oh, okay.
So you should be able to share.
All right, let me try again.
Sure.
Oops. Okay, good. I think I'm fine. Okay, good day, everyone. Just to introduce myself briefly, Nandi has already done that, though. So thank you very much. The name is Wendy Machiolo. I work at here with UKZN as a student counselor. Yes. You can still see, hey, Nandi?
Yes. Would
Okay.
you prefer showing your slides from a presenter view?
Yes, what do you see?
Right now we are seeing all the slides actually.
Okay.
Maybe
And
try
the
to,
notes? I'm
yes, we're
hoping you
seeing
don't
the
see.
slides and the notes all together.
Okay. What do I need to do? Please
I think you need
assist.
to the slideshow icon. Click the slideshow icon.
Slide control?
Let's see.
No.
At the bottom, Wendy, at the bottom.
You see here at the bottom where you operate your volume.
Okay, that would be at the
Bottom
yes. Oh, sure.
right.
Yep.
Yes. So next to that volume,
Slideshow.
yes, yeah, there. Yes.
Okay.
And there, yeah. And then maybe
Okay.
click right. Click right once you're there.
And
then you'll notice that there is what is this? An option for presenter view. If you click right, show presenter view, then you click there so that you on your side can be able to see your notes.
okay, would that be slide control? Oh, I'm sorry for taking time.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Slide control? No.
You're clicking right.
That's at the top though. Hey, Nandi.
No.
That's at the top where I have slide control, show meeting, and
Nandi,
yeah.
perhaps it's best to leave it the way that it is.
Okay, no, that's fine. You can just
Okay, continue. Sorry about
it's okay, sorry.
Okay, so I'll be covering graduate attributes at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, and I'm hoping to cover the intro, key graduate attributes, as well as how these link with career readiness. And speaking about graduate employability capabilities, as well as self-esteem and career adaptability among South African or among young South African young adults, I'll be making reference to a journal by Sadika Ismail, and I would encourage our audience to go have a look and read on that. Okay, I think I've got a headline again because I can no longer see my notes.
Sorry, I was saying it's okay. You can go back to showing it initially in how you had opened it. So you can just exit the slideshow. Yeah.
All right, sure. Okay, so yes, I would like to greet everyone, especially our special guests of the moment, and yeah, just to congratulate you, to say well done for attending this crucial event. It was really kind of our college to host this important event, and by attending, you're showing that you also appreciating this gesture. Okay, it is a wise choice, so I do commend you for heeding our call for an invite. And yeah, it already seems like you are showing the attributes that are required in the working world by the fact that you heeded the call. It means you paid attention, and that's very important. You decided to spend your precious time wisely by enriching yourself and being part of this. It was a good decision of you, or you made a very good decision by heeding the call, and that also is another attribute required in the working world. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, I looked at this essay journal by Sadiqa Ismail, and according to him, he found that employers expect young graduates to have a well-rounded sense of self, and also to be able to display a range of graduate attribute skills to adapt to constant changes in the working world. Graduate employability skills assist one to maintain and have career adaptability. So adapting to the work demands is a core skill to do well in one's career. So you need to be able to adapt to work demands in order to be able to do well in the working world. You need to be able to deliver timeously or before deadlines. You need to be flexible when you need to shift tasks or duties. You need to cope in high stress situations and maintain good relationships with colleagues and everyone. So developing a healthy self-esteem is another attribute that is needed. So you do need to have a healthy self-esteem in order to adapt to an ever-changing world of work. So Ismail also include or mentioned the fact that career adaptability could be enhanced through the development of self-esteem and particularly graduate employability skills. So this makes one more employable, and at the same time, it helps you to be able to maintain your work or your job. So let's look at what employees need to possess in order to be employable. In addition to being flexible, to have a healthy self-esteem and the like. So the next slide shows what employees want by generation. And in terms of baby boomers, and those are employees or people born between 1946 and 1964, the best work ethics that they show mostly is being optimistic. They enjoy mentoring. They have a strong work ethic. Generation X, and these are employees or people born between 1965 and 1979. The best work ethics that they mostly show is independence, being innovative, and they are strong communicators. Remember, it doesn't mean that they don't have other work traits, but these are the best work traits that they possess or display. The millennials, which is people born between 1980 and 1995, the best work ethics or best work traits that they show, they are tech savvy, they are collaborative, they focus on the greater good. So that means they're not only interested in their own and only development, but they also look at others' interest. In other words, how their actions as well as their time will improve others. Generation Z, which I think speaks to our audience, people born after 1996, and best work ethics or traits that they show. They are digitally fluent, as they are practical, and they flourish in diverse workforce. So this is the generation that's they are called Zoomers, and they rely heavily on technology, or they are influenced heavily by technology, smartphones, and internet, as we know. The top 10 skills in 2025, when one did a search, and it was found that according to the World Economic Forum, these include analytical thinking, creativity, leadership, and social influence. And that also includes critical thinking, problem solving, and reliance, and a resilience, the power to be able to bounce back in hard times. In addition, there's the ability to learn quickly, adapt to change, which we know is unavoidable, and being able to use technology effectively. That also comes as highly valued. So these have been grouped above in the table in terms of the type of skill, problem solving, self-management, working with people, technology use and development, and the skills in respect of those have been unpacked. It is crucial to emphasize that continuous improvement is important in respect of all the above, in respect of all aspects of one's life. So it's important to sharpen the saw continuously. And that's one other attribute that is important. And if you've read the book by Franklin Covey, you'll know that this is one of the crucial habits of, or one of the 7 habits of highly effective individuals. And I would encourage our audience to read these books and this book. I know many of you may have already read it because it's not a new publication. So the question now is, what will the next 10 years expect from us or from you? Being mindful of the fact that things change, the working world changes. So we do need to expect that there could be changes in the next years, and in terms of the working world and the demands thereof. So the question is now, do these attributes link to preparedness for the job market and long-term career success? I'm sure the answer is a yes. So you'll agree. So most, if not all, that has been shared is really an extension of what has been taught by your teachers at school. So some aspects of life orientation syllabus focus on preparing you for the future careers, or for future careers and responsibility. So it's in responsibilities. So it's important to take note and make sure you familiarize yourself with those. And these include topics such as career exploration, and that means different career paths and skills, personal development, which would include decision making, stress management, time management, financial management, and the like, as well as being a responsible citizen. Okay, and thank you very much, everyone. If you have any questions, perhaps you can put them on the chat or raise your hand. Otherwise, have a blessed journey in your current year as you prepare for the coming year? Thank you. Thank you, Nandi.
Thank you very much, Wendy. I think I can absolutely agree with you when it comes to, looking into the different generations and what the strengths that they bring in into their career fields. So I think it just helps to enlighten one to realize their power in terms of the time and opportunity or exposures that they have as they are developing personally and professionally, and do take advantage or rather capitalize on the strengths that you are learning in your generation, and make sure that you showcase those strengths that you have. I think, for instance, with this generation, it's just mostly technology advanced skills that everyone just comes in with, and or rather most group of learners would come in with. I am mindful that due to the different backgrounds, socioeconomic status, and environments, there are differences in terms of the skills that one would have learned. But I think it's always a good opportunity to learn more once you do get the exposure, and so that you also gain in your sense of confidence, and also just in your sense of skills, what you get to know, because you can enter, even if it's a field of medicine, but if there's a certain star skill that you come in with, you stand a higher chance of being the one in a million in or a few in a million in that career field. So use become mindful of what skill are you bringing in. If maybe there's a certain talent even that that you have, but it perhaps needs to be sharpened somehow, make sure that you that's what exposure and just bravery in putting yourself in situations or opportunities that can help you enhance your talent. That's where they come in handy, because then it means you are already coming in, or rather developing or growing in the field, in your respective field, with a certain star skill that for sure will put you at a high advantage. So yeah, thank you very much, Wendy, for enlightening us on that. I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm taking a break, just briefly, very very briefly, bathroom break, for maybe, let's say, about 4 or 5 minutes, and then when we rejoin back, we will be having Miss Nosipho Mkhize. I see that she is already in the in the session. Then she'll be giving us valuable information on funding. Now, I know everything else is important, but hey, look, when you talk about funding, you can be accepted in a degree, but then simply because you don't have funding in that year or in that period, your life can just take a totally different trajectory. So please do make sure that you rejoin again at, let's see, 10:35, because it's just 5 minutes, to listen out to what does Ms. Nosipho Mkhize have to say about funding. So I think the bathroom break starts now.
So Nandi, while you take a bathroom break, I do have a couple of questions from the CAO presentation. So I'm just going to share a video quickly, if that is okay.
You may share, Sue.
Thank you.
Part of the UKZN experience is the opportunity to be part of a community and to network with not only our world-renowned academics, but with future game changers and leaders. They do say that the extent of one's success can be attributed to those they rub shoulders with. Therefore, you must surround yourself with like-minded people. So, how do you become part of a community that is committed to your self-development? How do you become part of UKZN? First, you have to apply. All applications for undergraduate studies at UKZN are processed through the Central Applications Office, CAO. This is for both your course and student residence application. The application process is as follows. Step 1. Consult the CAO handbook. This handbook provides a list of all qualifications available at UKZN. Step 2. Have a look through the various courses offered and choose a program that interests you and for which you meet the minimum requirements. As one of the top 5 universities in the country, UKZN promotes academic excellence. So meeting the minimum requirements does not guarantee you a place to study. Step 3. Find the program code linked to your chosen qualification. This is the code you need to enter in your application form. Okay, let me show you something. You see, a code has 3 parts. Example, for BCom in accounting, the code is KN-P-BCN or KN-W-BCN. Crazy code, right? Well, basically, the KN stands for UKZN, the middle part stands for the campus of your choice, P for Pietermaritzburg, W for Westville. Then BCN stands for the actual course. Make sure to get these codes right. Step 4. Use this program code when completing your CAO form, which is available from the CAO website. Your application will be sent to UKZN. You can always check the status of your application using your CAO number, ID number, or passport number on this website, www.caocheck.ukzn.ac.za. For more information, visit www.cao.ac.za. It's that easy. Pay close attention to closing dates for qualifications. For example, MBCHB closes on the 30th of June, whilst other undergraduate programs close on the 30th of September. What are you waiting for? Apply now and shape your future today.
Thank you so I think now we may have just I hope maybe like, but let's still take 5 minutes, it's fine. 4 to 5 minutes bathroom break, and then we quickly return. Okay, you don't have to leave the session, you can just quick 5 minutes and then we return with no Sipho Mkhize having to discuss everything on funding. Thank you. Okay, I think 5 minutes is up. All right. Hoping everyone has arrived back and ready to also proceed to the next segment of the workshop. So with us, we have Ms. Nosipho Mkhize, who will be taking us through what are the requirements of funding and what are the different options of funding, as well as in the process sharing some different funding sites. Okay, so Nosipho, you're welcome to share your slides if you have.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Nandi. My name is Nosipho. My slides, can I please share them with you on the side, Nandi, after the presentation, after I've spoken? Sorry about that. I'm a senior advisor at student funding at College of Health Science. My topic is student funding. At student funding, we have 3 different funding types. We have the scholarships, we have bursaries, we have NSFAS. The scholarships, we have about 4 or 5, the ones that students are given when they are entrant, which are entrance scholarships. We have one called Pius Langa Entrance Scholarship, which is paying about 70,000. We have an entrant merit scholarship, which is valued at 25,000 should a student obtain 6 distinctions, where they obtain 7 on their points. And then we have another one, which is a 20,000 scholarship, whereby the students get 5 distinctions, excluding life orientation and maths literacy. And then we have a Fringe Inwala, which is valued at 20,000. This one is for female African students that are entering UKZN that are under the top 10. And then we also have internal scholarships that we have within maybe like for our first years for 2025, they are eligible to apply for an internal scholarship now in the 2nd semester, which the maximum of that scholarship is about 25,000. And then for these selected scholarships for students that were doing matric the prior year, that is done by the university automatically on as soon as they receive the matric results. A student is allowed to have a 2-year gap where, like, let's say you were studying in 2025 and you could not study and you want to come and study in 2027, you are allowed and you will be eligible for the scholarships, the ones that if you have maintained your A's in that. And then we also have the bursaries. The bursaries are mainly if maybe you have applied for a municipality bursary, or you have applied, maybe your parent works for, I'm just going to make typical names, maybe for Toyota, or they're working for another university or at a college, and from another company. There we are requesting a letter from the sponsor to confirm that they are funding you for the current year. And then we use that letter, and then we award you for clearance for the current year that you're studying. And then we also have NSFAS. NSFAS is the qualifying criteria for NSFAS. The salary of your parents must not be above 350,000 per annum. That means that it must be around about 29,000 combined family income. And that NSFAS bursary is not payable back. So when you finish your studies, you don't have to pay anything back to NSFAS. you must be a South African student and you must be studying full-time, and it must be a degree or diploma, the qualification that you have taken. So now NSFAS, you go on your NSFAS portal on www.nsfas.org.za to apply. Normally the application will open in September or October for the following year. So if you want to apply for 2026, you need to go on the website in September or October and check if the system is now open, then you can apply for 2026. What you need to have that you will use, you must have an email that belongs to you. You must have a cell number that belongs to you, because NSFAS communicates with you via email, or they drop you an SMS if they need maybe some documents that are outstanding. And then what you do, you go on an NSFAS portal, you upload your details, your names, surnames, and then it's going to ask you your parents' details. And if there's no parent, then it's going to ask you for guardian details. You have to submit all that on the system, and then it's going to be sitting on stages of your application. Stage 1 is where they've received your application, then it ends up to stage 5. And then it keeps on. You must just keep on going to the website and checking an update on the website as to how far your application is. And then once it says approved, which is the final stage, that's when that means NSFAS has funded you. So should you come in 2026 and you say, oh, but I'm approved by NSFAS, I'm still waiting. This time NSFAS now gives us a funded list at the universities. We have to wait for that funded list from them to confirm your funding, and then only then we can be certain that you are funded by NSFAS. And then we will use that. Should you wait maybe for NSFAS, let's say we're opening in Jan or in Feb, it's about time to register, and NSFAS has not, and you have not been cleared for registration, then you will have to pay the registration fees. However, they are refundable back to you once NSFAS has allocated your funding for the year. And we send you an SMS confirming that you are now being funded. NSFAS covers the following. It covers your tuition cost, it covers your residence costs, your rent, your meal allowance, your book allowance, your travel allowance, and you're given a laptop once-off allowance for entrance students. Now, at this point, for our first years that are not doing medicine, the current cost around about 100,000 to 120,000. So all this will be covered by NSFAS, and you don't have to pay a cent back to NSFAS. And they want you to pass at least 60% of your registered modules. So at this point, we were looking at 60%. So if you are doing 10 modules, you will have to pass at least 6 of your modules. Then you don't have to appeal for the following year. Because should you not pass what they require, like your 6 modules out of the 10, if you've registered 10, then you will have to make an appeal at the beginning of the year to state your reasons why you could not pass at the required rates, and also what you're going to do about it. So you just put an appeal to NSFAS, and then they will consider your application once more. We do have a website that is available for student funding in the UKZN website. It's studentfunding.ukzn.ac.za. There you get all the information of your scholarship information, NSFAS information, bursaries, our policy documents, and the contact people that you can liaise with through the colleges. And then should you not be funded, or you've been selected but you don't have any funding, there are other ways of getting assistance, where you can try bank loans, or you can also try and apply for the NSFAS loan, whereby they have indicated that should parents earn more than 350 per annum, they do qualify for an NSFAS loan. And also we do have NSFAS disability, where we cater for our students that are living with disability. So there we can also apply. When you do apply for your NSFAS, you indicate on your application online as to if you are living with a disability or not. and then we also fund students. I'm not sure if there are any other, if there are questions that I can answer. Nandi?
Thank you, Nosipho. Let's see, are there any questions based on what Nosipho has shared, or anything that you probably would like for it to be unpacked by Nosipho? Any query that you might have around funding that you currently know of, but you just want some clarity on, please do ask Nosipho. I think what stood out for me with what you mentioned was about the 2-year gap that you mentioned that students can or have, and they'll still be eligible to apply for funding. I think there was, if a student is from high school and hasn't yet applied for university, does the same apply for students who would have applied for first year and then maybe somehow they decide to take a gap year, or do they have to appeal, or rather, if they don't even have to appeal?
No, there's no need to appeal, Nani. They can just apply for NSFAS. There's no need to appeal at all. Or yeah, there's no appeal required in terms of funding.
Okay, all right, thank you. Another thing that stood out for me is the support for students with disability, because I know that so often, because of the, I think, usual stigma or hesitance to disclose certain things from students, I understand how easy it can be to perhaps not necessarily disclose certain things that are related to, or that can be considered as disability. But I think you mentioning that there actually is special support even to those students, I find it very important for prospective students to know of this, even students who are currently in university. There are ways that I think university can be able to support students who need support when it comes to disability related issues. Did you want to extend your comment on that, Nosipho?
Yes, I can. In fact, when I was at the other colleges, because I had close interaction with some students, I could the NSFAS is able to, I'm just going to share what they are able to get. The students are able to get assistance even with a pair of glasses, like your glasses, prescription glasses, and they also have access to, when you need that special reading, if you have a hearing aid disability, then you are also assisted with such. And even some of our students that don't have sight, like maybe they've lost their eyesight, they also get assistance with a device that assists them in terms of when they are writing their exams, or when they are, when they are doing their normal work, reading their emails and stuff. So it's a very accommodative funding that they have for the students living with the disability.
Thank you very much. And if we had the disability unit office themselves present in the session, I think they would have even elaborated more on the support that they are able to offer to students. Yes. But should you be someone who is either it's a diagnosed condition, whether it's mental health related, physically related, or maybe there's a certain illness, it's related to an illness, I do encourage that you get in contact with someone a professional in the university, who can be able to assist you in finding ways of how you can connect with the disability unit office. There is no discrimination. There is no any form of exclusion that one would face, but rather it is all with the aim of supporting. How can we be able to accommodate your journey so that you can be able to study at a rate that is similar to other students as well? How can we be able to support you? So that's the whole purpose of connecting with the disability unit office. They are able to offer things such as academic concession, accommodation recommendations, and so many other things also that they can be able to assist with. I see there are, I don't know, I think it is questions actually. It's questions. We have Karuna who's asking, please inquire with the respective organization, do they have intake periods? So check. Oh, sorry. I think that is a
That's a comment, Nancy.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Okay,
No,
yes.
it's fine. It's fine. Just to explain that, Sissy, if you don't mind. Realistically speaking, we have place for 1,000 odd students per year. And the applications range over 10,000 annually, just as a broad number. So 9,000 students might not get the place that they need realistically. Now, for those listening in, you have your communities within which you are networking. Please pass on the information to other students who have an interest in science, but may not necessarily get into a university. Let them know that the apprenticeships are there if they're science-minded and they wish to actually pursue careers. The apprenticeships are beautiful. The salaries attached to them as pharmaceutical assistants are actually quite large. In South Africa, there's a huge demand for them. So do spread the knowledge that you're receiving today to help empower someone else. That's the name of the game, and that's why we're here today. It's while we serve UKZN, we also serve the greater community. So Nandi, thank you for allowing me to put that up.
Yes, my pleasure, Karuna, and thank you for even highlighting on that. Thank you. Okay, and then we have Usiabonga Mzolo, who's saying, if I'm registered in another degree and change the degree in the following year, will the university notify NSFAS that I've changed the degree, or I'll have to tell NSFAS that I've changed my degree? Nasipo, I think that's a question for
Hi,
you.
Siabonga. There'll be hi. Sure. Siabonga, there'll be no need for you to notify NSFAS because we send them your registration data once every student that is funded has registered. So it's a matter of them picking up on their side when we send the registration data, confirming which students are registered for what degree. However, should you decide your first year, for example, you've registered for a 3-year qualification, and it so happened that the following year you want to change to a 4-year qualification, NSFAS will only pay for you the 2nd year and the 3rd year of the first qualification. And then the fourth year, in fact, the 3rd year of the new degree that you have chosen, it will fall under the NSFAS N+1 rule, which means they are giving you an extra year. They would have given you 4 years basically for your qualification. For the 3-year qualification, they'll add a +1. However, your 4th year now on this new degree that you've decided to choose, you'll have to pay your own fees for the 4th year because NSFAS won't be paying. So it will be 3 years +1, which is 4, but you have not, obviously your first year was not successful, you've decided to change to another degree, so you've lost a year from that. I'm not sure if I am understood there.
Thank you, Nosipho. Okay, Siyabonga seems to have understood your response. And then we also have Pumelo. Hi, ma'am. Could you please provide more information regarding internal scholarships for when you are a matured student?
Okay, that I did not mention, but I do have for matured students, we have a National Research Fund, which is a government funding for postgrad. It's more, I cannot say it's NSFAS, but it's from the government, but to fund our matured students, like if you're doing your master's or you're doing your honors or your PhD. And we also have scholarships that we give out at UKZN, which fall under the, we also have fee remission at UKZN if you are doing research. There you don't pay for your studies, you are given a fee remission, provided you are doing research in your master's or you're doing research in your PhD. And we also have UKZN scholarships that we have within, whereby you get your cum laude pass or you get your summa cum laude if you've passed more than 70 to 80 or 90%, your aggregate for the year. I hope I've answered correctly.
Rupumelo, does the response suffice? Okay, I think it does. Yeah, if you check on the chat box, there's been quite a lot of, I think, valuable information shared in the chat box. So please, whilst you're listening in, go through your chat box as well. You'll notice there's documents, there's links, there's everything that would definitely be able to support your further understanding. The different learnership sites. Yeah, I think the only site that I'm not seeing is the NSFAS one. Can anyone, colleagues, just kindly slot it in the chat box? Thank you very much. So, Nosipho, is there anyone else with a question for Nosipho? Anyone else before we move on to the next speaker? Or are we good? Hey, Spokazi Vilane. Ma'am, okay. Spokazi Vilane is saying, to get cum laude or summa cum laude, do you need to get 75% in all modules from first year, or you need to get 75% and above in your final year?
It's looked at yearly, not final year. So should you maintain that 75 and above for the first year, then you qualify to get the scholarship for the following year to assist you with your second year of your study. Let's say you're doing your master's or you've finalized your master's. Master's normally is 1 year if you're doing it full time. So then you'll get your cum laude there, and then it will assist you with maybe with your PhD studies.
Okay.
Can I mention something, Nandi, regarding NSFAS?
Yes, you may.
This year we had an issue with NSFAS because their site was open in September, but they opened for students that are studying in TVET, like the trimester students in the TVET. So I just want to give heads up to our students, potential students, that when they do apply, if they can please check what does the system say, if it's saying annual application for 2026 or is it saying 2025 trimester, so that they don't fall in the trap whereby they seem to be not funded the following year, and yet they did apply last year. So I think maybe just to be sure, I will advise that they try and apply in October. Don't use the month if they're wanting to come to UKZN. They must apply in October because only then the site is open for, for annual students. I'm certain of that month that it's open for annual students. We've had a lot of cases where students are coming in and they've got issues. It shows that they did apply, but they applied only for TVET, not to come to university.
Thank you very much, Josipa, for that heads up. Thank you. All right, so we are moving on from funding related discussion, but it doesn't end here. You still can ask any questions through in the chat box, or you can even unmute yourself as the session proceeds. But for now, we are moving over to our next guest speaker who will be discussing degree-specific information. Her name is Arishka Kalicharan. She studied medical science and has currently postgraduate student, also lecturer at UFS, and she also has quite a vast experience in medicine as well as nursing. So she'll just be sharing her journey or rather the process, in the degree, because I think why not hear it from someone who's walked the walk, and just to get insight to what are some of the challenges, what are some of how can one be able to break through from around those challenges as well, and continue to grow further and pursue the career. So Arishka, you're more than welcome to take over the session. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Like Nandi said, my name is Miss Arishka Kalicharan, and I've been sitting and listening to the whole from the time we started. And if I can give a piece of advice so long before I start with my whole presentation to all the high school learners is, I've been in your situation and I've been listening to the other presenters, the colleagues, and the information that everyone has given so far. And, I wish I had it. I wish I had it when I was back in studying, when I was in matric. So please listen to everything that has been said. It's so, I'm sorry that I'm sounding a little bit, but because it's really cold in here, and I'm in the Free State, and at the moment we are sitting on like below 10 degrees, so I'm really shivering. So please forgive me if I sound like I'm about to cry or something. I'm just really cold. So yeah, but I will give some of my advice as much as I can give. I started at the UKZN in 2009. Same procedure, applied through CAO, got in. My initial, or what I wanted to do, my passion was medicine. So I did apply for MBCHB as a first choice, and unfortunately it did not come through. So my second was medical sciences, specifically in anatomy. And I got through 2009. My first year, it was a shock. Coming from matric to now being in this huge Westville campus that I was located in, the Department of Anatomy. It was a shock where you have no friends are there. Yes, you have family, because I was from Durban. So, it was quite of a shock, but we got through. I had friends, I had amazing lecturers who still are there at the moment. I still keep in touch with them, but also it was important to network. It was, and I see Nandi and other colleagues did say network. And what we mean by network is ask for help. Don't ask for help when it is too late. Go and do your homework. Find out what you need to study, what is your goals, what is your passion. And I think pull through, see it through, make sure that you persist. Look at all the other avenues, like I think Karuna has also mentioned. Look at all the other avenues. If things doesn't come through, it's not the end of the world. There's always something else that you can do to get back on track. Whether it be a bridging course, whether it be, let's example, if you want to get into medicine, you don't get into medicine. So you can do nursing, you can do other allied health. And once you're in the university, you can then reapply the next year and try again. So with me and my course, I just want to quickly share my screen. I will stop video and share my screen. Okay, let's quickly do this. I hope, can you see what, is it visible? Just want to quickly put on slideshow.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so like I said, I studied at UKZN. I now work for the University of the Free State in the Faculty of Health Sciences. So in my undergrad at UKZN, there was, well, the whole 3-year degree. You learn to find yourself, you learn to see what your goals are, you learn to see, do you want to go into a workforce, do you want to go into research? You find your strengths, your weaknesses. And for me, I felt that research was my end goal. So I ended up doing a postgrad on honors in medical sciences, anatomy, and then I went up into a master's in medical science anatomy, which I graduated with a cum laude. And then I went to go on to my PhD. And at UKZN and in my year of data collection, unfortunately, the hospital that I was working with, unfortunately, their staff left. So I had no other choice but to drop the degree of PhD in UKZN. And then at the same time, I happened to get a job at the UFS. So now I am pursuing my PhD here at the UFS in medical education. But I still keep in contact with my colleagues at the UKZN as well as other past, some of my friends who graduated. I also got a job here at the UFS. So I know we've been speaking about let's get into university, but then once you get into university and you have that degree, what next? And I think that is why I'm going to try to tell you what you can do, especially with the degree that I have, which is medical sciences, specialization in anatomy specifically. Also, when you're choosing a degree, and make sure that you choose wisely. Make sure that you know what you can do with your degree at the end of the 3 years or the 4 years or the 5, depends on what you want to do, or the 6. That is very important, because a lot of our students that I see get a degree and then sit at home because there's no jobs. And that's not your problem, it's the country's problem. But so make sure that you go into something that you are good in, that you can get good marks in, that you can get a good job in. That's the end goal. And then it's obviously the difference between a job and a career, something that you love. And what I do is what I love. So for me, it's not a job. For me, it's a career. I mean, yeah, the job is the pay at the end of the day, but you know what I'm trying to say. So I am an anatomist by profession. So I just want to say, what is an anatomist? We are medical scientists that specialize in the human body, its growth, its development, its functions. And if you want to become one just like me, you apply for a Bachelor of Medical Science in Anatomy. And I know not only UKZN offers the course, there's other universities that also offer the course, like for example, the UFS. So like the other colleague said, you only get a certain amount of applications and only a certain amount can get through, right? So also take that into consideration when you are applying. Don't only put all your eggs in one basket. And then we also work with physiologists, so those who study the cells of the body. We work with embryologists, so those who specifically study how the human body develops in the uterine area. And then forensic anthropology. Now, these are all your CSI people and all your forensics when they go out for a murder scene or a crime scene or anything of that. So we work with them, and it's a very fulfilling degree. So if that's what you want to do, please go up and apply. Apply. That's all you can do, is just apply and study hard to get in. So again, what do? We study the human body, how it functions. We dissect those that have passed on and donated themselves for science. So we call them cadavers. We also then preserve these tissues, like you can see there's on screen, there's a brains, we preserve them, but we also have so much of fun, because every degree or every career that you choose, you must have fun. Otherwise, it's just a job, and a job cannot be fulfilling. It fulfills your financial needs, your immediate needs, yes, but it doesn't give you the pleasure of doing what you do. So just make sure that you have tons of fun in your studying, whether it's 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6-year degree, or even post degree. So just make sure that you know what you are doing and what do you want to do. So what do? We also do the research. We do, from the dissections or from finding out the functionings of the human body, we do research. And I know UKZN is really, really big on being a research-led university. And that's also now the consensus with all the other universities. So with research, you mainly concentrate on research in postgraduate studies. Now that's a whole different ball game, but let's get through undergrad first. And then teaching. So teaching is also something you do postgraduate. You don't do much teaching in undergraduate. So again, we also assist with other allied health professionals like physiotherapy, occupational therapy, dentistry. So we are involved in almost every health sciences profession you can think of. We also assist the South African police services, like I said, with the crime scenes, and but we also go into the academic hospital. So we also go into teaching, and I think the academic hospital there at UKZN, I think, is the Albert Lutuli, if I'm not mistaken. So we do a lot of fun things. We get our hands dirty in almost everything. So it's really, really fun. So how do you become an anatomist? You enroll at a university. That's the first thing you do, is apply. And like I said, the degree that I did at UKZN was Bachelor of Medical Sciences in Anatomy, and I did see it there. But I did see at the time, from the time that I applied in 2009, the requirements have changed a little bit. It has gone a higher AP score, which means that it is more in a demand. And I know UKZN does take the best of the best students. So you really need to, put your bottom to a seat and study. But don't study hard. That's the idea. You study smart. So once you find the balance between studying hard and studying smart, you will make it, and you will graduate, and you'll get a good job. I promise you that. And you'll have a very fulfilling career. Now, since I studied at the UKZN, it has given me a really good platform, especially now that I'm at the UFS and when other colleagues ask me here, where did you study? And I proudly say UKZN. Because number one, UKZN taught me a lot of things. It taught me how to be diverse, how to communicate with other people, to be professional. It's all the graduate attributes that one of the previous presenters were talking about. It's the graduate attributes. And then once you go into the work field, you can also proudly say that you are a UKZN alumni. And at the moment, I'm sitting in my work office and I have my UKZN pictures from my graduation and my degree certificates all up on my wall so that anybody walks in, clearly they can see I'm a UKZN graduate. So that's one of my proud moments. Okay, so now I can't, at the moment, because I work for the university, I can't exactly go and tell you, promote the University of the UKZN. I'm so sorry about that. But what I can say is that if you do not get into the University of KwaZulu-Natal, any of your health science courses, please keep in mind the University of the Free State in the back of your head in case things doesn't go your way, because like we said, limited amounts. You get like 10,000 or more than 10,000 applicants for only 1,000 spaces. So let UKZN be your number one choice. Please let it be your number one choice. I do not regret that. But also your second and third and your fourth is look at other universities or other institutions that in case things don't go your way, you always have a second opportunity and you don't waste time. So I would like to just quickly, very few slides, just tell you quickly about University of the Free State. You're welcome to visit our website. We have the prospectus up there. That is what it looks like. There's the QR code. Go and have a look. Be smart. Like I said, UKZN is your number one choice, but also look at other universities. And if not the University of the Free State, there's other universities in South Africa. Please go and have a look at them. Apply to them as well. You never know what's going to happen. So just have a look at them. The University of Free State, we have 3 campuses, quickly, Bloemfontein, Kwakwa, and the South Campus. We also quite much of a teaching university at this moment, and we are venturing into research-led. But that's quickly our stats. I don't want to bore you about it, but I just want to show you the Faculty of Health Sciences. We have different schools, clinical medicine for your MBCHB, your pathology, biomedical sciences, which is, we also do basic medical sciences. In anatomy, you have nursing, we have health and rehabilitation, and that's all your allied health sciences. These are our AP scores. What are our minimum requirements? I'm not going to go, it's going to seem like I'm trying to bring you back to here, but I'm just showing you your alternative to UKZN. As well as our other health sciences, you can just quickly see if you are interested in any of them. I don't want to, try to convince you otherwise, but I'm just saying a second, and there's your nursing. So our applications are currently open. Medicine closes at the 31st of May, and the rest is at the end of July. So if you do want to have an opportunity, you can. But like I said, if you also want to do something that I did, maybe if you don't get a place at the UKZN, we also have a very basic medical science department here, which also teaches anatomy. You can go visit our website, and all the information that you can find is there, and all about us and what we do. But like I said, I have some of my colleagues who studied with me at UKZN. There is, let me quickly just do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of my colleagues, excluding me, so with me 6, who studied with me at UKZN Medical Sciences and now is working here at the University of the Free State. So we are proudly recognized as UKZN graduates who were good enough to get a job. So basically, my final words to you is choose well when you are looking at that CAO book. Study smart, and then you will live well. That's basically all the motivation I can give you. And if you want to know anything else, you can ask it in the chat box. But that is all from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Arishka. And absolutely, I do agree. Choose well, have fun, be very intentional as you are deciding on your degree. Thank you. And I think it's absolutely a great pleasure to share information on what the requirements from the UFS side, because I think the ultimate goal of having having to share this information on career is so that the student is ultimately placed in their aligned field, regardless of where it is in the country or even in the world. So please do explore even the different institutions. Yeah, I think if students would like more information from you with the UFS, please do email. Can you leave your email address in the chat box so that students can be able to communicate with you further in the event whereby they may have certain questions. But you also have an opportunity to ask questions here on the session. Does anyone have any questions for Miss Arishka? Any questions?
Okay, I do see Corona. Yes, thank you. Sorry, I'm like literally shivering. I think we are like at 6 degrees Celsius here. So I'm really, really shivering. So I'm so sorry. Although I have the heater on, it's very, very cold. No, I'm fine. Thank you. Okay, does the course require one to further? Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading the rest. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. You may read through and then respond.
Does the course require one to further his or her studies before one can be able to secure a job? Not necessarily, depending on what you're doing. So, for example, like I also, I'm really heavily involved in teaching the first year and second year nursing students, as well as the the MBCHB students, as well as the BSc in forensic sciences. So I get to see a lot of these students that come directly from matric, like most of you are. And like example for the nursing students, they already start to go into their community service in the second year.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, I think I'm. Yeah, okay. Thank you. I was just waiting for I was being mirrored there. So yeah, a lot of these students could the person please stop share? Yeah, okay, thank you. Get into a job and they go into their community service and already start earning. So if you really want to go into like academia, for example, where you get to do research, then that I would suggest highly get into a postgraduate studies and further it to be able to secure a job. And if I look at the requirements now to be an academic or to lecture at university or a technicon, the way it's going now is that you need to have a minimum of a master's or a PhD, and they're really leaning towards having a PhD or completing a PhD once you get employed. So if you want to get into something like this, I would suggest a minimum of a master's or a PhD. But if you're going into something like the allied health sciences, like a medicine or physiotherapy or occupational therapy, it's not needed to do a postgraduate degree unless you want to now specialize into something. For example, if you are doing MBCHB and you now want to specialize to be a surgeon or a cardiologist or anything of that sort, then you need to get a minimum of a master's. So that's what that is what I would suggest you do. Okay, so I hope I answered that question.
I hope the person who was asking did manage to get a sufficient response. But thank you very much for that response, Arishka. I see we have another question. I'm not sure if maybe it's here on the chat box from Mobile Shabalala.
Okay, given the circumstances that you had to leave AP and go to another university, ended up to pursue it there. I did have to start all over. Unfortunately, I was 5 years into that PhD degree, well, at UKZN. And, you know, at the end of it, if it had went the way I wanted it, I would have already had a PhD by now. But unfortunately, I had to stop it because that topic was registered at the UKZN and it came from my supervisors at the UKZN. So I don't think it would have been fair for me to use their idea, you know. So unfortunately, I had to drop the 5 years of all the work that I did and start a new one. So now I'm in my second year of the PhD here. But I don't regret it because all that I went through was just experience. So I don't regret it. I had to start all over though.
I think even what you're touching upon now, it greatly displays the importance of, I think, resilience and you know, being persistent and having that you know, willingness to be flexible should one be encountering any obstacle. So even that alone, just that journey alone of having to start over, it's important to take for learners and students to take note of, you know, career may be, or your degree may be 3 years or maybe 4 years or 6 years, but that would be on paper. It could, if lucky, go exactly along that way for you to study in exactly 3 to or 4 or 6 years, but depending on the on the required period from your degree. But at times, there are times where there would be certain delays, maybe caused by modules, not you know, not having to pass all modules on record time, or life circumstances occur, or maybe changing your degree because of any realized preference or area of strength. You know, there's various, or even just like in Arishka's case, there was the team left, so then she had to then decide what does she do next. So there's always, you know, in life in general, and I think even directly to your career, they will always be certain life circumstances that will require you to stop and reflect and think on what to do next. And that really requires you to think from a place of wisdom and think and also make sure that you consult with other people before you make certain life-changing decisions. So thank you for that, Arishka.
No, it's no problem. And I also want to, you know, I wish someone told me this when I was in matric, or even in my first year of university. And when I went into medical science, the first year of university was a basic BSc course. We did maths and physics and everything that we covered in school. And, you know, to get into the degree, like we said, it's very competitive. And to get a place, you need to be smart. And then at university, it almost seemed like we were not smart, because it showed us like, okay, we get into university, we think we know everything now because we achieved good marks. And then university comes and it shows us that you're now in a place where everybody has good marks. So you could be the the not smartest one in the class because you are amongst the smartest people in the country. So just don't feel like you're silly or that you don't have what it takes to be there. It's just now that you need to up your game because you're now in a class where everybody is smart. And I see that even with my first year students here. And like I said, I teach the medical program, and now we are in a class of 180 of the smartest people, some of the smartest people in the country. And some of them just fail. And, they always come to me and say, ma'am, but, I achieved 90% in matric. How can I fail my first year? It's not that. It's just the adaptation from school to university. So when you get into university, don't feel that you are silly or that you don't have the ability. You are worthy and you are capable. You just got to be resilient. That's it.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. You've really just mentioned it exactly in a very wonderful way, that basically, just addresses how a lot of the times, especially in those degree programs, especially in the College of Health Science, whereby we do know that having to enter in the first place, you need to have obtained high amount of marks. You'll find that students are coming in with already having the I think personal construct or idea or perception that they need to be perfect and always being in the achieving end, but also then they meet with the realization that actually they're no longer the only smart one, just like in high school, but now they are amongst other smart students. And how do they then learn to navigate that journey on its own? Because that is where you find that one also gets to experience like imposter syndrome, or it sort of creates a low self-esteem because when we talk about always being in the high achieving end, it comes with its own I think pros or perks when you are always in that space or used to being in that kind of an environment whereby you are always the best person. It comes with you eventually getting used to external validation. Let's be honest. It does sort of boost or rather end up creating that certain expectation. And then when you find yourself in an environment where external validation is not so much of an important thing anymore. What matters is just you focusing on your journey. Now, there's that whole, I don't know if maybe it's cognitive dissonance or just, having to go through that personal journey of how do you then make sense, new meaning, or how do you realize or create a new sense of identity, whereby you move on and refocus on certain things that will still continue to encourage and boost your level of self-trust and self-worth and confidence. So I absolutely agree with you with the what you've mentioned. It's very important to take note of such thing. Career journey is aligned with personal development. It really is. It's not just a matter of you. Yes, at the moment, for basic reason, it does require you to just do well academically on paper, but also in the process, it's good to keep revisiting your own sense of identity. Hence why there are student counseling services available in all institutions. There's even career development, what's this, departments in certain institutions, which would help to coach, not so having to consult with student counselors, not just only for therapy or trauma related issues, but how do you get coaching? How do you get to develop in your personal skills, in your communication, socially adjusting, or even just adjusting in terms of your personal identity? So all of those things become very important as a student. So yeah, keep note of that. Thank you. Thank you very much, Arishka.
Thank you so much. Do we have space for the last question, or can I just answer that in the chat?
Oh yeah, I see. There's Ustandiwe who's also written a question. You're welcome to respond to it.
Okay. I would advise, number one, that you study something that you are interested in. Because then you don't make it a job, you make it a career, and it is much more fulfilling. So example, like if you want to go into research, then it doesn't become a bore. So do something that you love, but also in terms of fearing the unknown, if you are brave, but I don't suggest you should, because in case it doesn't turn out the way you want it to turn out, then you won't be disappointed. But then again, there are some people that I know, for example, like in my first year class of medicine, we have a student who did mathematics, and he actually has a degree, and he's a mathematician who now wants to do medicine. So it's totally different fields. And he came to me the other day for some advice and said, he made a mistake. This was not his course. So again, it works out for some people, and some people it doesn't work out. But it's up to you whether you want to take that risk or not. But I would say stick to something that you know have your strengths and your abilities to succeed.
Okay. Thank you. I hope that response is good enough, Standiwe. Thank you, Arishka. So moving on, if you still have more questions, by the way, when it comes to medical science, please do put on the chat box. But for the sake of time, we will now be moving on to Umandisa Dlamini, who is an academic advising officer in the nursing discipline. Mandisa, you're welcome to share your slides if you have, but you may take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Nandi. Just a moment as I open my slides. Okay. Are they visible? Just checking.
Yes, all clear.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Nandi, and thank you so much for inviting me to this very informative event. And I really hope that our students are really taking in the information that they're getting today. I am Mandisa Dlamini. I am the Academic Development Officer for the School of Nursing and Public Health. And I like to say that I am basically the caretaker of our students' learning experience. I am part of a number of support structures that are available at the university, but I primarily focus on ensuring that our students have a positive learning experience for them. However, today I was invited just to talk about the nursing qualification, which is part of our school, and how it is offered in this program. But I would like to also just start off by saying, welcome to the nursing program. If you would be considering this qualification, there are a couple of questions that you need to ask yourself, because we consider nursing as being a field of where it's a work of heart. So you need to be passionate about nursing to be able to succeed in this specific career. So there are a couple of questions that you could ask yourself if you're considering a nursing qualification. And one of them is, are you passionate about caring for others? If that is a yes for you, you can list it as one of your qualifications. But also, are you a team player? Are you a patient and empathetic person? Will you be able to assist people in crisis? Because you are the first point of call if you are a nurse. You see them, you see our patients at their worst. So would you be able to be patient enough to support our patients if you are in this field? And are you really committed to put in the work that is needed for you to become a nurse? And if this is you, then nursing is definitely the career for you. At UKZN, for you to be offered a qualification in nursing, there are just a few things that you need to have. One of them is definitely to pass your matric, but you need to pass your matric with a level 4 pass in English, your home language or first additional language, in life orientation, but most importantly in life science, because nursing is part of the life sciences field. You need to have a level 3 pass in your mathematics or your mathematical literacy, and you need to have an APS score minimum of 30 points, excluding life orientation. Please note that this is the minimum. And because we have a very competitive, we are a very competitive field, it's very difficult to get into our nursing qualification, because out of thousands and thousands of applications that we get for nursing, we can only accept 80 students. So that's 80. So one of the most important things that you need to note when you are applying for nursing is to always make sure that it is your first choice. We usually take mostly our students who have made nursing their first choice because of how competitive this is. Now, just to give you a snapshot of what nursing looks like, of the journey, if you end up in our qualification, nursing is basically a 4-year qualification, and we call it 8 semesters where we are. And we are usually working with students who are registered with our statutory body, which is the South African Nursing Council. It is important that all our students are registered with this body when they come into the qualification, because it guides how our students are to support patients. And because we have students that are going out into the community to support, to provide services, they need to be registered into this body. The registration forms are usually completed during the orientation period. The way in which our program is taught is through doing. So our theory, we take a theory in action approach where you learn through doing. That is why when you come into a program, you learn that attendance is very important for both your classroom attendance and your placement attendance. It is compulsory for you to attend so that you are able to show us that you are you can do what you have been learning. And we also have a number of clinical hours that you need to achieve for you to be considered as having completed this qualification. And these clinical hours are set by our statutory body, which is SANC. That's the abbreviation of South African Nursing Council. They are set by them, and without completing these hours, we cannot give you your qualification, even if it means you finished all your theory modules, but if you still have not completed your clinical hours, you will not be getting your degree. So that's very important. And that's why one of the questions that I asked you at the beginning, I wanted you to ask yourself at the beginning is, are you committed to put in the work that is needed to be a nurse? This is where that question applies. Will you be able to complete all requirements if you are a nurse? Another aspect of your qualification is that you will be doing a language module as an elective because you communicate with people in the hospitals, you communicate with people in communities. So you need to master languages that are around us. Specifically, we are in KZN, so it's important that you understand or you can hear isiZulu. So if you're not a Zulu speaking individual or if you don't speak one of our Nguni languages, you will be required to register for an isiZulu module in your first year. If you are one of those Nguni language speaking students, you will be required to register for the English module at your first year level. So that's just something to keep in your mind that you will be having when you come into our qualification. For you to actually be considered as having passed a module, if you're doing a module, you would need to get a 50% pass or more, specifically for practical examinations, because if you cannot do 50% of what a nurse needs to be able to do, then we cannot consider you as being competent enough to continue on to the next level. So you need to put in the work to also be able to be considered as being competent as a nurse. And then another requirement is that you will need to go through a health check if you are coming into our qualification. On your first years, you'll be going to x-rays, you're going to get x-rays. And that is just to check if you're physically fit to go into the clinical placements that we have, because you cannot be picking up patients if you have a back issue, all of those things. And also they help us also see if you need extra support within our university. For example, we have support from the disability unit where they can advise us on how you can be supported when you are providing services to our students if you have issues. Or if you have difficulty working. And then there's also vaccinations. You also need to get some vaccinations when you come into a qualification. And all of that is explained to you during your orientation. In our nursing discipline, we are not only focused on cultivating competent nurses, but we also strive to help you become future leaders, researchers, and competent community service providers. And that's what I wanted to show you, just some pictures of our students doing all of this, presenting on research programs. They're going into communities to talk, to do health talks with our communities. It's a lot. It's not just about you being in the classroom and going into the clinical placement. We also cultivate you to become greater leaders. So in the nursing discipline, we take care of your academic growth while you learn to take care of the nation. Just to leave you with a final word, if you feel that you have got what it takes to care, to lead, and to change lives, join us in nursing, where futures are made and lives are saved. Thank you so much, Nandi, and I can take in questions if there are any questions.
Thank you very much, Mandisa, for sharing your information. Is there any question from the students? I mean, students and learners, high school learners? Any questions at all before we move on to the last segment? Anyone interested in nursing or in medical science? Okay. Any questions, or rather, let's move on to the next segment. So for the next segment, we have, I would like to also just highlight that we are just sharing few disciplines, but I do I would like to thank Umbuso for elaborating on the requirements, more especially on the different disciplines when it comes to the College of Health Science. But with the different speakers, they are elaborating on this degree specific, of which we are only they are we are only able to have a certain amount of guest speakers for the workshop. So if you do have any other questions on the different disciplines that may not be elaborated on further by the different guest speakers, you can still inquire about them, and then we'll be able to respond, whether it's sports science, optometry, audiology, there's occupational therapy. There's a lot of disciplines that are in the College of Health Science. So I would not like, please don't feel limited. Do still pose your question, because only you know what you are interested in. And I would like to trust that you did do the assessment before the session, and maybe it would have led you to a certain degree, so that you may be aligned to. So do inquire about that degree as well. So now we have Ms. Suzanne Stokes, who will just help us to understand a bit on the MBCHB degree. Thank you, Suzanne. You may take over the session.
No, thank you so much. I am mindful, like you say, there are many different careers out there that we offer degrees for. And I just want to quickly share a resource, and we will share on the WhatsApp group. If you're not on the WhatsApp group, please direct message me on the chat space. I'll share with you our WhatsApp group, but I just want to quickly share with you our beautiful resource that has been compiled by our public relations team, Lunga and Nombuso, along with their manager, Marianne Francis. And they've got beautiful resources here, sharing a lived experience by our staff in the different degrees that we have. And I will be sharing a few of them now as I prepare my presentation. But as you see, I'm transitioning to the different videos we have from sports science, anatomy, physiology. We've got, if we go back to the beginning, audiology, a little bit on the speech therapy, and their lived experiences. So these are the lecturers that are teaching in these courses, and basically just sharing a little bit more about their experiences teaching the undergraduates and their research areas, which I think is really beautiful to share, because you get to see what could you be doing with your degree once you are degree complete. So as part of your career planning program that you're setting on the side, I want to finish matric, I need to get these results. Within my undergraduate degree, I want to develop these skills, develop these graduate attributes, and I want to create a 5-year, 10-year career plan. And that's where I'm hoping to share. So I'm just going to quickly reshare my screen so that I can just share a little bit around our lecturers in the field of medicine and their experiences. And then I will unpack a few more of how to go about making these career decisions. There we go.
My name is I'm the head of pediatrics here at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. I am a PhD as well as a pediatric pulmonologist by training. I received my undergraduate training at Wits University, subsequently went to train as a pediatrician at the University of Pretoria, and I also obtained my fellowship in pediatric pulmonology, both at the University of Pretoria as well as the Catholic University of Leuven in Belgium. I, as a pediatric pulmonologist, have a special interest in pediatric lung health, more so in pediatric. Majority of my work in terms of research has been focused on asthma in children in South Africa as well as in Africa.
I do apologize, I have a very wonky network connection. Let's try that again.
Teaching in the Department of Pediatrics has received a number of awards for being the best department in terms of teaching for the undergraduate trainees, and this was awarded in 2020, 2021, and 2023. One of my proudest moments in terms of teaching is I am the director of the Pan-African Thoracic Society MECO training program, which trains people in lung health research, and we've trained over 400 people from over 24 countries across the African continent. So one of my best and special interests is in actually research training and incapacitating the next generation of research.
So I'm very mindful that we have all of these videos available. So I just want to go over that. We've even got the fields of specialization in traditional medicine, family medicine, obstetrics and gynecology. We've just seen a video on pediatrics. And these are all those specialist areas that you would do post your community service, post your internship. During your studies in medicine, you get to go and explore quite a bit around, the different interest areas, whether it's internal medicine or surgery, and you get to, as part of your career research, get to engage with the specialists in the field. So as much as you are getting trained as a medical doctor, you're getting to network with many different disciplines and fields within the higher health and with the Department of Health. I do apologize. So I am mindful. There's many things we can talk about. I am going to just hop onto my slides. And I know Ms. Nandi just wants me to speak about medicine, but I will be doing a little bit more after that. In a moment, just to kind of just consolidate a few things, such as, those becoming a healthcare practitioner, how do you set aside, specific career goals and aspirations, if that's okay. I have shared many of those resources on the group, already on the WhatsApp group, so I'm very mindful of that. I will share my video again in a moment once my network stabilizes. So this is the entrance requirements for our degrees here at the College of Health Sciences. And what's really important is I do apologize, there is a little bit of an issue with my screen share. The network is really making it difficult to do this today. There we go, let's get that away. Okay, so it's not letting me do a proper screen share. Give me a quick second. little advanced here. There we go. I'm just going to do a screen share of a portion of my screen. I do hope that you can see this portion of my screen. I see a lot of my screen is getting obscured by my multiple video windows. But just to quickly hop into the Bachelor of Medicine degree, it is a 6-year degree. It is a full-time study degree, and you get to qualify as a general practitioner, also known as a medical doctor. Thereafter, after you graduate in your degree, you get to do a year of internship. This is a paid internship. So in your 7th year after graduating, you get to work in a hospital setting within the Department of Health, and you apply for a post in our provincial hospitals. During your training, you get taught how to work as a medical doctor. And in your final year of your 6 years, they expect you to manage a patient as if you're already qualified under supervision. When you're an intern, that is also during a year where you work under supervision, but you're expected to do a lot of the things yourself in managing patients, looking at their treatment plans, clocking patients, discharging patients, providing scripts for medication, as well as many other treatment facilities, depending on the department you are in. Post your first year internship, you get to do 2 years community work. And during those community years, you also again apply for a position within the Department of Health. And thereafter, you get to choose, do you want to go into private practice, or do you want to register as a medical officer in one of those hospitals that you worked in, or do you want to start a wellness center, a surgery, and thereafter, a few years later, when you decide I would like to specialize, you then apply for specialization based on what I have just shared with you. If this is a field for you, it means that you are someone that is very caring for individuals and always wanting to learn about how the human body works. You have a good aptitude in the anatomy, physiology, and the life sciences fields. The personality trait that you hold that would allow you to do this degree well would be someone that is very patient, tactful, and calm, and you'd be able to work under pressure and work accurately. If this is you, this is definitely a field that you may consider. If you are someone that's able to make quick and responsible decisions, that is empathic, confident, and respectful, despite the things that are going around you, because the field of medicine can require you to work in trauma situations, in high stress crises, work settings, then this is a field for you. I am mindful that Nombuso had already gone over the APS scores and minimum requirements, but just to reiterate that if you are someone that had not obtained the results that you need in order for the minimum requirements, and you go and upgrade your results, we will still not consider you for this field. This degree is offered at other institutions as well, but with similar entrance requirements. I am mindful that she had spoken about the nursing field, but again, I think, and I will share these with you post the session, that there is a range of fields out there based on your interest as well as your personality traits. So we will again share these slides with you. I think what is most meaningful here when we're looking at making a career decision is, how do you go about knowing which career field is best suited for you? And it's all about doing career research. Go and read as much information about the careers that you are interested in and talk to students and professionals in those fields. So head on over to a practice or someone from the community that does that career field, and go and interview them. Ask them questions around what did they study, what do they find meaningful in the field, what is rewarding, what is not rewarding. So kind of helping you set up that pros and cons list that I have kind of shared with you in terms of an idea. So when you go about setting up a plan of action around, I need to know more about these careers, can I see myself in this field, go and investigate, go and be that Sherlock Holmes, create that pros and cons list, the advantages and disadvantages, and go and analyze using the SWOT analysis process, where you look at strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats of each career, and see how you would fit. If this is my strengths, how would I then do this career well? If these are my weaknesses, but I have the interest in this field, is this something I can build and develop further? Or is there an opportunity for me to do a career compromise? So go and seek for career advice and guidance, and you can go and see either a life orientation teacher, a career mentor, a registered counselor, or a psychologist for assistance in creating this career plan. But what will always help you in setting up this career plan is go ahead and explore yourself and the careers and find a match between the career and yourself. I do see that we've got quite a couple of questions or stay up in the chat space, so please keep them coming. So some of the things that you would want to consider, which Ms. Nandi had spoken about in the beginning of the session, so if you've joined late, go ahead and go and complete your career interest questionnaire, your personality questionnaire, and these are all self-evaluation questionnaires that will give you ideas around who am I, what do I hold within me that will allow me to do this career well, and can this career give me exactly what I'm hoping for? So I'm very mindful that when we're looking at the health profession, that we are tapping into, those certain essential traits that we need to succeed in that healthcare field. So I have shared with you these little tips and ideas as to can I do this career well? So if you have these areas, or these traits rather, within yourself, you would do this career field well. Just to unpack a little bit more, if you are compassionate and empathetic, you would be able to show an understanding, especially understanding the feelings of the patients and their families, and provide them with the emotional support that they need. Are you able to clearly communicate information to the patients and their families and colleagues, as well as can you actively listen and understand their needs and concerns? Are you attentive to detail? Do you understand the unique differences between different diseases, and accurately diagnose based on that information, and treat and manage patients correctly? And do you have key observational skills? So are you able to utilize those observational skills to identify subtle changes in the patient's conditions by reading certain charts, blood results, and things like that? Are you a problem solver? Can you critically analyze and understand complex situations, perhaps unpacking the things that had resulted in a disease or in a situation that had resulted in a patient, vital signs relapsing? Can you be adaptable in those situations? Do you have the physical stamina and the endurance and the physical resilience to manage those long hours and demanding tasks that the degree expects from you? And do you work honestly and confidentially with ethics and moral integrity? If this is you, then we know that you would do a healthcare professional well. Are you able to work in a team and collaborate well? And do you have that sense of patience and perseverance and persistence needed to work in disciplinary teams, in stressful situations, and supporting your colleagues in managing the health and well-being of your patients? Fields in health sciences requires you to be a lifelong learner, always wanting to understand and learn more, and knowing that there will always be medical advancements. Knowing that this degree requires you to forever want to learn and understand how things work and to improve the health and well-being of patients and clients. It requires you to work long hours, and this will have an impact on your life. So are you able to organize well, plan and structure your life well? Do you set time aside for your self-care and your family time as well as your career? I know I've got the word multitasking on the slide. It just means that can you hold and handle multiple responsibilities simultaneously, but also mindfully engage in one task at a time. So if this is you, this is definitely a field for you. So becoming a healthcare professional requires you to, develop these personality traits and values, and to manage them well. And there will be ample opportunities to really nurture these qualities within you. I just want to see if there was something else. I don't know if Ms. Nandi had asked this question in the beginning, but is this something that, when you're thinking of a career, something that you would like to do each day? And I hope that the answer to this question is yes. You would like to do something that you like and enjoy. And as much as this might be a basic, it is an important question to ask. It is a good career well-being question to ask. A lot of the time, research has shown that only 20% has given a strong yes in response to this question when they are working. So we know at a fundamental level, we need something to do. And ideally, it should be something that we look forward to, that when we wake up every day, we are excited, we are revitalized and energized, and we're looking forward to engaging in our activities that we want to do as our careers every day. So when you spend time each day, will shape your identity, your values, the roles that you play in your community as a student, as a future parent, volunteer, more than just doing a conventional job. You will be spending majority of your waking hours during the week doing something we consider career and occupation and vocation, where you get to thrive and find fulfillment and meaning. If you start finding yourself asking yourself this question, do I like what I do each day? And the answer is no. This is time we start exploring that career transition, looking at alternatives or expanding on our career plans within our fields that we have qualified in. People usually underestimate the influence of our career on our ultimate or our overall well-being. So nurture the career well-being. Take time and go and unpack your personality, your interest areas, your values, so that we can find a really good match between who you are as an individual and that of what a career can offer you. Career well-being is more than just choosing the right career, but it's about flourishing and thriving in that career field. And that will pay back in other areas like your relationships, having good financial security and good physical health, because you're enjoying something that you find that you're able to balance and do well in, and you spend a lot less time worrying or complaining about your job. You're better able to manage the stresses that the job will bring, and will not take the toll on you as an individual. So when you're setting those career goals and aspirations, it starts today. It starts last week when you started completing those self-evaluation questionnaires. Who am I? Short-term goals, I need to develop a plan of action to get those good grades. I need to figure out how I'm going to complete this assignment, as well as acquire new skills. Maybe I need to develop my presentation skills. Long-term goals would be things that you would want at the end of your term, at the end of the year. Maybe I want to do some job shadowing or volunteering work, some work at the SPCA, just to kind of get an opportunity to develop communication skills, or maybe even just a sense of maybe I need to create some type of routine or structure in my day, and getting a volunteering job might help with that. Work on your career aspirations. as well as being mindful that it is also just for your personal and professional development, because it also speaks to who you are becoming in your community. Your personal development will look at improving your skills, knowledge, and abilities, and your professional growth focuses on aiming to advance your career, becoming, known for you in your career field. So there are many things that you can do. And I always suggest one of the things you should always consider is seeking support from a mentor or someone in the field or at school that will help and guide you further. So create that action plan. Set those steps that you need to help you aspire and achieve your career goals. And I just want to see if there was anything else that I want to share from my slides that I previously created. Yeah, something that Ms. Karuna had shared before in the beginning of the sessions is consider what else you could do. So if you do apply for a field and you don't get entrance into the field, you do have options. So speak with your family around what are the other options that's available to you. I always try and equip my clients with the idea of if you have to take a gap year. So for example, you didn't secure the funding or you don't have funding for your studies. If you don't have funding and you enter your study fields, there are many financial needs or demands on you as an individual, and not having the financials back up, it's going to place you under a lot of strain, mental health strain, as well as the impact it will have on your academics. So like Ms. Nosipo had said in the beginning, that you have up to 2 years to secure funding. So if you haven't secured funding, reconsider immediately going into your degree, because you're going to have to pay for your accommodation, your textbooks, food, clothing. There is a lot of financial demands on you in your studies. So you could use this gap year to prepare for university. It could mean a variety of things. It could be you developing yourself personally, going to volunteer, do some job shadowing, or even looking for a job. You could even consider taking a gap year to go and explore a different culture or learn a new language. Perhaps you might find that you would want to, become a global citizen, and this could be an opportunity to develop those skills. To develop new life skills, again, honing on that global competency, maybe start a social entrepreneur, nonprofit organization or something back at your school, maybe paying it forward, improve your ability to communicate or adapt quickly in the face of challenges. So develop those skills. And Ms. Karuna had shared a couple of learnerships, so look out for those learnerships and apprenticeships that's available out there. You can even consider CETAs as an alternate option, and they do offer paid learnerships thereafter. Maybe even discover a hidden passion. Maybe there's something that you're really good in. Hone in and nurture those skills. You never know, that might help you start a business and even develop or gain an income from that while studying at university. Make meaningful and long-lasting friendships. And I think this is important when you're looking into building networks for when you're studying. Maybe someone might sponsor you financially or with resources to study further, or even maybe during holiday periods, or when you're done with your degree, having an opportunity for for job recruitment and improve yourself. This is also a nice opportunity to get involved in community projects, whether it is through nonprofit organizations or non-government organizations. And this is where you get to really make an impact in the lives of your community. As I mentioned, during this gap year, you get to boost your job prospects through the activities that you're involved in, and get to live life to the fullest. And spending a gap year, even maybe in another province or another community or another country will definitely bring many adventures. But do speak with your family around taking a gap year. I think it is so important that we're not going straight into a career or degree as a career compromise, and we're not happy or we don't have the funding, and you become risk of not academically performing because you've lost the sense of motivation or encouragement that you needed to be able to do that career well. So I'm on the chat space, and I see that there is some questions around just going back into the APS scores for a few of the degrees, but I will definitely share this with you in the WhatsApp group. If you're not on the WhatsApp group, please message me. I will also share my email address on the chat space, so you can definitely email me, and I will definitely share with you some of that information. But Ms. Mandisa Dlamini, who shared earlier the full details of the nursing degree there. I don't know if there's any direct questions that you would like to ask, but I am available should you wish to ask some questions in the chat space. So Nandi, thank you so much for the time and for the opportunity to speak a little bit more around the field of medicine and just sharing some of the resources that's available out there in order to make a good career decision. I think it is important that we continue this conversation as this is only the beginning of your career journey, unlocking university and rebuilding your career and your career canvas. So thank you everybody for your time and for listening to me. Back to you, Nandi.
Thank you very much, Sue. Thank you. I'm sure the students benefited from having to listen through to what is required in the field of medicine. If you still have questions for Ms. Sue, you're welcome to put in the chat box. I think we had Mandisa, a question for Mandisa. It was related to the nursing discipline. Someone was asking, I think it was Tinal Neka, was asking if they could share or go into details on the Bachelor of Nursing. Mandisa had to return back to the session. She is meant to be going into another meeting, but just briefly, I don't know if maybe you'd like to share something for Tinel there. And then there were also two private messages. One was inquiring about certifying documents when you are applying for by CAO. And I think personally, I think it's safe to certify all documents. I don't know what the rest think. And then the other one was the NBT, but it was also related, was regarding DUT. If DUT does take NBT test, I don't know if anyone in the session does know. I only know of UKZN. So those are just the only questions that are there on the chat box so far. Mandisa, would you like to say something?
Okay, thank you so much, Nandi. I think the question was very broad in the sense that I'm not so sure what the student was asking, but I can share that in our qualification, we are also able to move on beyond just undergraduate. You can also go into postgraduate when it comes to our nursing qualification, where you can get the chance now to specialize in other aspects of nursing. Because when you leave our nursing qualification, you can become a general nurse, you can become a midwife, because we have a part where you actually in fourth year it's mostly focused on midwifery. And now when you're going into the postgraduate level, you can just now specialize in those aspects of critical care. We have a postgraduate diploma in midwifery, in health service management. So that's the part where we talk about leadership and how to manage health service facility. So those are the types of qualifications you can go into. We only offer them in postgraduate diplomas here, and then you move there to masters and PhD. We don't have any honors in our nursing qualifications. I'm not sure if I answered your question. That's why I was saying it was a bit broad. Maybe if the student could be a bit specific about what exactly do they want to know more about nursing.
Tinley, would you like to respond to that? Okay, no. Tinley has responded and they're saying that yes, definitely you've managed to respond to what they were inquiring about. So thank you. Thank you, Mandisa, and thank you for sneaking back in from your meeting.
All right, thank you so much.
Sure. Okay, any questions for Ms. Suzanne or any other degree that is in the College of Health Science? Any question at all? Okay. All right. I think now that, optometry, okay. So what would you not like to know about optometry, Tinal? Is there anything specific that you'd like to know? Yes, famous Stokes is sharing something.
Okay, so yes, so optometry entrance requirements, and you can get this information for all our degrees in the undergraduate prospectus, which I have shared on the WhatsApp group. I am certain I shared it here in the meeting chat as well. So when you go over the prospectus, it will say what are the minimum requirements, as well as the APS level scores for each degree. And yeah, we will get the life sciences or physical science. So it does require physics or life sciences. So we do hope that that helps. So do have a look at all the different requirements. You will see that some degrees will either choose between math and math lit, such as, I'm just quickly looking for the sports science degree. There we go. Yeah, is another option where if you only have math lit, you have this option. Okay. Let's see if there's any other questions. I think what will be nice and helpful is once you have gone through the prospectus of the institutions you're interested in, hop onto the CAO form as well. The CAO website gives you a nice way to kind of select the different degrees that's available for each institution. So you can go in, and it does say whether or not what the entrance requirements are, and you can see whether or not you would qualify for those. Yeah, so career research is quite a process. It requires you to sit with all the career information, entrance requirements for each field offered by each institution to make that career decision. So I do hope that answers all those questions.
Thank you, Sue. And thank you for sharing the link as well. That was a response to Libo Shabalak. Thank you very much, guys. I see we are actually ending off quite earlier than 1 o'clock, which is good. I guess we did a good job in sticking to time. So I hope this was well informative session for you guys, and I hope that it will add to your plan moving forward, and also has helped activate that sense of action in you. So I hope that that's what we were able to do. And thank you to our guest speakers, our colleagues, everyone who's managed to share the information from their side. I would like to kindly thank you all, and Karuna as well, for being very helpful on the chat box and being on standby. Thank you very much. This was a wonderful teamwork workshop that I think all the students and learners have greatly benefited from. Communication or conversation around this still continues. On WhatsApp, you can do so. Even on emails, we've shared all our emails. Please utilize the resources that have been sent on the chat box. And also, please do not forget to evaluate the session. I have sent out the link on the chat box. I've even sent it here on WhatsApp. Make sure that you communicate, because your responses or your feedback to us, it helps us be able to better understand your needs, so that we can be able to offer either current or even in future, to know how are we able to tailor make these kinds of workshops. So yeah, thank you very much. I think that is it from my side. If there's no one else who'd like to share anything, or when it comes to closing off statement, I would like to thank you very much for joining, and take care. Have a safe and well-rested day. I know that learners are on a break today. It's an extended holiday. I think also students as well. So rest for the rest of the day. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.